Yum AB, on top of entertainment.
Ok, j'espère que vous allez bien. Bienvenue sur la chaîne de Young et B, le Prime de l'Entertainment, les gars. Je sais que aujourd'hui, déjà, on va commencer par la base. Aujourd'hui, on va faire une petite vidéo réaction, comme on a fait, comme d'habitude. Vous connaissez. Bientôt, on va sortir une nouvelle vidéo, vous inquiétez pas. Ça, c'est de 1. De 2, je sais que ce week-end, j'ai pas fait de vidéo. Voilà. Parce que samedi, j'ai travaillé longtemps. Dimanche, j'étais fatigué de ouf. Et voilà, même aujourd'hui, et tout ça, j'étais un petit peu fatigué, je vous mens pas. Donc, j'ai pas pu faire de vidéo. Mais là, on push through it. On fait les vidéos, vous inquiétez pas. Test de 2. De 3. Ah, la caméra, ça fait dégueulasse un peu, hein. Je vous mens pas. Je l'ai mal fade, hein. Chi. Bon, là-bas, pas mal, non? Mais à la caméra, ça fait dégueulasse. Ah, putain. Écoutez. Ouais, c'est pas grave. Voilà, c'est ce que j'avais à dire. Bon, regardons cette petite vidéo tranquille. La face cachée de Temu, les gars. N'hésitez pas à me dire en commentaire si vous avez déjà commandé sur Temu. Moi, je vous mens pas, j'ai déjà commandé. Si vous voulez, on fera une vidéo commandée, tout ça. On déballera vite fait.
It's February 12th, 2023, the Super Bowl, Philadelphia Eagles versus Kansas City Chiefs, and a record-setting 200 million people are watching this moment.
Ah ouais, 200 millions, hein.
Wait,
Pas
no,
ouf, hein.
that's too far.
Ça, c'est les States, ils croient que les armes, c'est le plus grand événement du monde. Allez.
Rewind.
Download the Temu app and shop
C'est vrai qu'à une époque,
Right there, pause it.
il y avait beaucoup plus de Temu, hein. C'est ce que je veux dire.
Wait, what is Temu? Okay, let's backtrack. It's February 12th, 2023, the Super Bowl, and Temu, a shopping app that launched just 5 months ago, makes its TV debut on one of the biggest advertising nights of the year, promising bargain basement prices and the opportunity to shop like a billionaire, with not one, but 2 commercial spots, totaling $14 million. The Super Bowl ad catapulted the up-and-coming shopping app into the mainstream, with app downloads jumping 45% and daily active users up 20% just one day later. By the end of the first quarter, Temu had racked up 19 million downloads in 2023.
I'm sure you've seen the site Temu, right?
Shopping app.
Quand,
Temu
quand
has
t'as
become the
des
most
sous pour faire
downloaded
la
shopping
pub.
app in the United States.
Toujours, les gars.
Temu is cheaper across the
Pour moi, personnellement. Un business, c'est pas vraiment. Tu peux avoir une idée de merde, mais si t'as beaucoup de pub et la pub elle est bien faite, c'est bon, ton business il va bien de
with promotional program to sell you useless stuff, and it's totally addictive. The company says that it's able to pass on those cost savings to American consumers.
Wish.com, AliExpress, the others started a decade ago. They were like MySpace, paving the path for Facebook, or BlackBerry, paving the way for an iPhone.
But where did Temu come from? And how does it make money selling dirt cheap products? And how did a relatively new shopping platform end up at the center of a political firestorm targeting Chinese e-commerce? So you see the Super Bowl commercial, decide to download the app. You'll probably be met with something like this. Spinning wheels, countdown clocks, $100 coupons, 25% off, 50% off, 199 cents. Act now, hurry, fast. And even without those discounts, you start noticing things are cheap, like really cheap. $19 headphones, $10 designer knockoffs, household goods for pennies on the dollar. Whoa, is that a $10 smartwatch?
Ah bah après, une montre à 10 $, c'est quoi? Vous croyez que c'est une montre de ouf? C'est pas une montre de ouf, hein. Vous croyez normal, là ça te dit vraiment le nombre de calories, ça te dit pas le nombre de calories, tout ça c'est du falche.
Let's go ahead and add that to cart.
It's really socialized extreme discounting with mega variety, gamified, and socialized in order to drive traffic. But
C'est vrai ça. Ouais, qu'est-ce qui est? Tu vas sur Temu, voilà. Des fois je vais sur Temu, j'ouvre l'application, je vois loterie, truc, nanani, nanana. J'ai même pas envie de regarder des produits, tellement il y a des trucs.
most importantly, to build an enrolled base and get consumers to download their app.
Temu is an online bargain shopping marketplace. Similar to Amazon, individual sellers list products through the site, but at heavily discounted rates. Based out of
Montre analogue à 5,88 $, bah, voilà. Pas un truc de ouf non plus, hein. C'est des trucs qu'il faut voir dans les marchés de France, quoi.
Boston, Temu quietly launched in the summer of 2022, and within a few weeks, the app was already topping Apple App Store charts, surpassing Amazon, Walmart, even Shein. All of this is thanks to a
Et
huge
souvent, les gars, ils vous mettent des prix de ouf comme ça, et à la fin, c'est même pas le produit que vous recevez. Voilà, une fois, je l'ai vu, hein. J'ai vu un drone à 5 $. J'étais choqué, je voulais le prendre et tout ça. Là, je vais sur la photo et tout, je vois c'est la photo qui vend, c'est pas le drone. Allez.
advertising budget, with a focus on social media. In January alone, Temu purchased 8,900 ads
En
on
plus,
Meta platforms.
il y a beaucoup de fausses pubs. Il y a beaucoup de fausses revues dessus. Je vous le dis. C'est moi qui vous le dis.
And this is all part of a larger user acquisition strategy. Because right now, Temu's not worried about sales. It's worried about you.
They're paying big bounties and referral fees for you and I and every other consumer to bring someone to the site, to download the app, and to make that first
Au début, il y avait beaucoup de gens. Ah, après, j'ai arrêté. Il y a beaucoup de gens qui faisaient leur truc sur Temu parce qu'ils pouvaient se faire des sous avec. Laisse tomber.
purchase. You could go across the social
Référencement.
sphere and you'll find people recruiting others in order to earn up to $100 a day on referral fees. Or if you're an influencer, you can earn up to $5,000 a month.
The idea is that once you get people onto the site, they start browsing around, they see all these different kind of gadgets and gizmos and things that are being offered, they see the low prices and they think, well, let's give this a try. And what Temu has found, it's some gizmos and things that are being offered, they see.
Vous voyez ça là? Le truc de l'ail là. Il est où? Il est là. $7. Est-ce que c'est vraiment un prix de ouf? Ça là aussi, ça tu le vois tout à €1 là, à Poundland. C'est pas un truc de ouf non plus. Ça à $20. Bon, c'est pas un truc de ouf non plus. C'est juste qu'en fait, au début, ils te mettent des bons prix. Après.
See the low prices and they think, well, let's give this a try. And what Temu has found is that once people have tried it once, they keep going back and buying more. And some people get quite addicted to Temu. It's very easy to shop. And it's very easy to do it in quite a thoughtless way as well, because you're not spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on things. The individual price points are pretty low. So a lot of people order in very high volumes.
Based on some estimates, Temu is projected to spend $1.4 billion on North American advertising in 2023 alone, hoping to grow its user base by an estimated 100 million people.
The value of a monetizable daily active user, we call it MADU in the industry, is worth somewhere between $236 and $726 per active user per year in top line revenue. And they're acquiring these customers at a fraction of the cost of what Amazon or anybody else had to pay in order to get them.
So again, that begs the question, where did Temu come from? And how did it get all this money? Well, if you haven't heard of Temu, you've probably heard of its parent company.
Chinese e-commerce company Pinduoduo going public at the NASDAQ this morning.
Pinduoduo, one of China's big 3 e-commerce sites with a market cap of more than $100 billion. Temu is the retailer's first major push into the overseas market, where its competitors JD.com and Alibaba already have a footprint. Pinduoduo utilized its already established strategy and logistics network to get Temu off the ground quickly, meaning that though Temu is based in the US, its products are actually coming from distributors in China.
They have a supply chain advantage that was built out of their success of Pinduoduo in China that started out representing rural farmers and producers and agricultural providers.
Les Chinois, bah, j'allais dire. Les Chinois, ils ont des applis de fou. Hein. C'est pas négatif. Hein. Mais t'imagines, t'as une appli comme ça. Regarde juste, regarde juste ça, l'image là.
And built that out to every small merchant in China, and now they've extended that to North America.
China is really the linchpin in Temu's strategy. A lot of the products that are sold on Temu are manufactured in China. They're shipped directly from China to the US. So those labor costs compared to manufacturing in the US and elsewhere are really low. So Temu is able to keep those prices very, very low for customers as a result.
So that $10 smartwatch is likely coming from a factory somewhere in China. And just like other Chinese bargain e-commerce sites, that allows Temu to sell items at extremely low prices.
What Temu sells is very generic stuff. It's not well-known brands. So that again keeps prices very, very low because you're not paying for the brand names.
But the same reputational risks plaguing other Chinese retailers like Shein could find a way to Temu. And as far as Temu is concerned, its problems just went federal. So you downloaded the app, spun the wheel, dialed through discounts, ordered your $10 smartwatch, and now you wait for your watch to come from a factory in China. But there's a couple of hiccups. Not all
Et même pas de taxe quand ils t'envoient le produit, je pense. C'est un truc comme ça, je pense.
Chinese manufacturers can sell goods in the US.
There's actually a genocide being propagated against the Uyghur people in a place called Xinjiang province in the northwest corner of China. 23 million Uyghur people are having their cultural identity erased, upwards of 2 million.
On n'oublie pas. Force aux Ouïghours. Et c'est pour ça d'ailleurs, je compte plus sur Temu aussi. Hein. Et force aux Ouïghours, Soudanais, Congolais, Palestiniens. Inch'Allah, un jour, il n'y aura plus d'inégalité dans ce monde-là et de massacres inutiles.
In concentration camps. As a consequence of this, we passed something called the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, because one of the things that's happening along with the genocide is that hundreds of thousands of Uyghurs are being pressed into labor in factories making all sorts of goods. There are countless goods coming into the United States in violation of the law.
In a recently released report, the U.S. House of Representatives found instances of items on Temu's website being sold or made with materials from the Xinjiang region of China, in direct violation of U.S. import laws.
Our American companies and others who are actually abiding by the law are making sure that their goods are not sourced from Xinjiang, are now put at a real competitive disadvantage relative to those fast fashion companies that are not.
Policies in effect that directly forbid the sale of products from the Xinjiang region. But the U.S. government found Temu only had vague boilerplate language, not directly mentioning Xinjiang. When pressed on it, Temu's defense was, Temu's not the importer of record, meaning they're a marketplace. They don't make the products, they just sell them.
Yeah, that's not going to work. I mean, they have 80,000 vendors, and they're basically pointing the finger at them, saying that it's up to them to police this situation. But, that's not going to fly.
And it goes beyond that. Remember those ultra cheap prices? Those help Temu take advantage of something called de minimis shipping, which the government is also pretty skeptical of.
Under our Customs and Border Patrol law, where goods under $800 that are shipped directly from China to residential homes escape all tariffs and duties, and they don't really have a lot of information about their place of origin. So they are also able to potentially skirt the laws that prohibit goods coming from Xinjiang.
To put it into perspective, other companies like H&M and Gap spent hundreds of millions of dollars on import duties at U.S. borders in 2022. Temu and Shein paid nothing. Combined, they accounted for anywhere from 30 to 50% of all de minimis shipments into the U.S. That's an estimated 600,000 packages every day, skirting customs, not paying import duties, and flying under the radar.
CBP is already under a lot of stress with regard to inspecting the packages.
Après, s'ils mettent des tarifs, c'est qui a payé les tarifs? C'est le citoyen lambda, hein, donc. Et le citoyen lambda qui va sur Temu, c'est pas quelqu'un qui vraiment a des sous comme ça, donc c'est mieux en vrai qu'il n'y a pas de...
$800 and above. And so then when you have this explosion of packages under $800, along with the fact that they don't have the data that would otherwise be required to do a targeted inspection regime, you basically make it almost impossible for the CBP to do its job.
This also puts other companies at a distinct disadvantage.
When you don't have those tariffs or duties in place, those goods end up looking a lot cheaper than other goods. And so not only are taxpayers losing the duties, but also American companies and others who are doing the right thing potentially are losing business.
Not only do companies like Temu and Shein take advantage of this rule, but it's directly tied to the rapid success of these types of companies. If the de minimis rule was changed, it would throw a major wrench in Temu's operations.
That would be very disruptive to Temu, because what it would mean is that parcels would either have to come into the US and go through full customs processes, which would cost slightly more, and more importantly, would take a lot longer to get to the end user, or they'd have to build out some warehouse capacity in the US, because that comes with a cost attached, and it starts to undermine some of that low-cost model, which is really important for those low prices.
It's not just the federal government that's concerned about Temu. Some states have taken action over the app itself, citing cybersecurity concerns. Earlier this year, Montana banned...
Ça, les gars. Ah, c'est vrai que ça, j'avais vu que Temu, ils volent tes informations et tout ça. Mais bon, est-ce que c'est vrai ou est-ce que c'est parce qu'ils payent pas de taxes? N'oubliez pas, l'État, s'il voit que vous payez pas de taxes et tout ça, il y a de l'argent, s'il voit qu'il y a de l'argent à prendre et qu'il le prend pas, il sera pas content.
And the app from government devices, along with TikTok, WeChat,
Et il
and
s'en fout
Telegram.
d'inventer des
In a
trucs sur
statement,
vous.
Montana Governor Greg Gianforte said Temu, along with several other apps, are tied to, quote, foreign adversaries, and cited the fact that Temu's parent company, Pinduoduo, is headquartered in Shanghai, China. And those fears are not unfounded. Pinduoduo came under
Il dit
increased
ça,
scrutiny.
pourquoi il dit ça? Tu crois que normal, s'il y a une application américaine, ça va pas espionner sur les gens? Bien sûr, ça va espionner sur les gens. Bon, en tout cas, ils vont essayer avec la CIA, ne vous inquiétez pas.
This year, when it was pulled off the Google Play Store in March after versions of the app were found to contain malware. According to a
C'est aussi
report from the US
populaire que
government,
ça
that
en
malware was
Chine
used
et
to
tout ça.
exploit vulnerabilities on Android phones, accessing users' text messages, changing settings, viewing data from other apps, and even blocking users from deleting the app
Ouais, ça-
altogether. So that begs the question, what is Temu doing with your data? So let's recap. You downloaded the app, scrolled through hundreds of listings, decided to take a chance on a $10 smartwatch. It is then made by a Temu supplier and sent to a Temu warehouse in China. The warehouse then ships the watch from China to the US, paying a grand total of $0 at customs. It is then shipped via the US Postal Service to its destination, and all of this happens in just about a week. So yes, we did in fact buy a $10 smartwatch from Temu. It took about a week for it to ship from China to us here in New
Vous allez
Jersey.
voir, ce
And
qu'ils vont
yes,
faire. Pour $10, je crois que tu vas avoir un nombre de fou. La montre va être nulle. C'est un écran attaché avec une batterie et attaché avec un truc en plastique. Je crois pas que ça va te dire tes pas et tout ça, ça va te dire des trucs complètement fous. Hein.
it really did only cost just around $10. First impressions of the box, it does look and feel kind of like an Apple box. And we know from the ads we saw of the original watch that that was the look and feel that this company was trying to replicate. But the watch face does look very similar to other smartwatches on the market. The ring on the side and the buttons are almost identical to that you would find on an Apple Watch. The watch straps are also rubber, very similar to Apple Watches. The only major visible difference is the charging port. While it does have a circular charging port, it does require a two-prong charger, and the charger itself was very cheaply made. The watch also did turn on right away. The apps also look nearly identical. The honeycomb effect is very similar to the current operating system on Apple Watches. Overall, the watch seemed to emulate an Apple Watch almost to a T. Even the icons for some of the apps internally were almost identical. Overall, it's a pretty good dupe. If I was in the market for a smartwatch and didn't care about quality, I probably would just get this. To most people on the street, it just looks like an Apple Watch.
Ouais, ça donne l'heure. Voilà, c'est pas un truc qu'il faut chercher pour.
Every app needs a killer application, right? The killer app here is these mega variety, steep discounts. That's what brings them in.
Moi, personnellement, l'application. C'est-à-dire, tu ouvres l'application, tu te fais marteler. En plus, après, ils t'arnaquent et tout ça, laisse tomber.
But they've married product sales with social. And they're starting by leveraging the existing social network in North America, but they'll create their own social network when they release Team Payments like they did with Pinduoduo in China. Team Payments is the viral catalyst for ignition to growing this to 1 billion users beyond China.
Remember earlier when we said Temu's not worried about sales, it's worried about you.
Mis la montre. Hein.
Marketing and e-commerce experts say it's no mistake Temu is spending so much money to aggregate a user base. Many suspect Temu is gearing up to launch social
En
shopping here in the
général,
US.
moi je vous dis, si vous commandez des trucs sur des applications comme ça, là, Temu, AliExpress, tout ça, faut jamais commander un truc électrique. Vraiment que c'est un truc de merde et tout ça. Mais jamais faut commander un truc électrique. C'est vraiment, il faut pas se fier aux revues.
A wildly successful shopping model Pinduoduo uses in China.
Pinduoduo in China actually takes it to another
Moi,
level.
je dis
They
ça,
use group buying.
je dis ça, mais j'ai acheté un pistolet massageur, il est encore là. Franchement, il est pas mal.
Where you can band together with friends and family in order to earn quantity discounts. It's referred to as team up, price down. This social commerce aspect is what allowed them to grow to number 3 to almost 1 billion users in China. In the US, Temu hasn't yet released the team purchasing capability, but you can see them laying the foundation for doing so because they're social marketing experts.
So as Temu continues to grow and expand its user base, it could be getting ready to change the shopping experience for US retailers. But will US consumers bite?
The potential for social shopping is definitely there and it will grow, but it's not going to become the scale that it is in China. It's a different type of consumer, it's a different type of market. But I certainly think it's a sensible thing for Temu to add.
And even if Temu continues to grow its US user base, can it survive regulatory and legal scrutiny to continue operating?
92% of us say that we'll trust a referral from a friend or a family member, and that's what social marketing does. And so whether or not Temu is owned by a Chinese company is irrelevant because you're really buying first from the trust and referral from a friend or family based on a socialized promotion. And on top of that, gosh, we'll give you $20 for each one you bring in.
Bon.
Whether it's a
Qu'est-ce qu'on a appris? On a appris que Temu, bon, il y avait des trucs de Ouïghours. Donc en vrai, n'achetez pas de Temu. Ils volent tes données personnelles. Quoi d'autre? Ils payent pas de taxes, mais bon, ça c'est pas grave. Et le produit, voilà, tu commandes un produit, voilà, faut pas expect quelque chose de fou non plus. Donc voilà, hein. Franchement, moi les gars, je commanderai pas sur Temu. Peut-être AliExpress. Si j'ai besoin d'un petit truc de merde, tu vois, pour acheter des coques et tout ça, c'est bien, des coques. Mais sinon, à part ça, c'est pas ouf. Bon les gars, j'espère que vous avez kiffé la vidéo. N'oubliez pas de vous abonner. Dites-moi en commentaire si vous avez déjà commandé de Temu. Comme un YouTuber. Ça me tue. Mais ça me fait plaisir si vous me dites ça en commentaire, si vous avez déjà commandé. Et qu'est-ce que vous avez pensé du produit. Merci beaucoup les gars. Pose un like, je t'abonne, mets un commentaire. Tu mets les notifications, tu connais. Ça me fait plaisir. C'est d'un jeune créateur. Vas-y, à plus. Je dois recorder encore 2 vidéos là. Hein. À la suite.